we have late breakfast or brunch tomorrow? Okay. No, I don't, but why don't you email me the directions and we'll just be over there tomorrow morning. All right, very good. Hey, I look forward. I got so many things I want to ask and talk to you about. That sounds wonderful. Look forward to it. Okay. Hey, thanks, Bob. See ya. So, looking forward to conversation with Bob Young, patriarch of the Young family. Hey, Bob. Hi.
What is Hi, Bob.
My son is
Come in.
recording this. I hope you don't mind.
No. What is your name?
Ripley.
Ripley?
Yeah.
Great. Listen, take off your...
Oh, how do you
This
do?
is my wife, Lily.
How do you do? Nice to meet you.
Levis and Ripley, his son.
Hi, nice to
God,
meet
you're
you.
a big guy.
Oh yeah, that's the shoes.
It's just the shoe.
I haven't seen you in years.
I know. It's been a
What,
while.
probably
now.
about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought maybe the simplest thing would be we had breakfast here. Sit over next to your son.
Okay.
I'll sit here so I can get in and out.
All right. Thanks a
The
lot.
coffee is doesn't take long to make.
Oh wow.
And if it's bagels, okay, and
Bagels are great.
and Nova Scotia, okay?
Yeah.
I didn't know what you want. When you want eggs, I can make them.
No, we're fine. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Okay, I'll just be a minute to get things going. So, good. I thought
Who's
this
a
would
little,
be...
who's a little baby in that picture?
Oh, the next door neighbor.
Oh, that's
A good friend.
Uh,
Somebody I've been mentoring. Actually, a filmmaker. You know Eddie Olmos? One of his kids. I mean, I'm Jewish. I mean, you must know that, you know. But I'm not religious at all. And I think when I was very young, I think I had a lot of problems with being Jewish. I didn't want to be, wanted to be like everybody else. I'm 89 now.
yeah. Well, you made that film, The Triumph of the Will. with
Triumph of the Spirit.
Spirit with Will Dafoe. I mean, that's a big budgeted.
That was, relatively speaking. I don't know if you ever saw a film I made called Caught, C-A-U-G-H-T. It's a really good movie.
No, I
It's
haven't
a film noir, and it starred Eddie Olmos, who was a close friend, and Maria Conchita Alonso.
Uh-huh.
And they were mom and pops, and they had a fish store. And they took in a drifter, an Irish kid, and it's a little bit like Postman at the beginning, but
Okay.
there's a son who comes back, and this guy's living in his room, and obviously having an affair with his mom, and it's a very strong story.
I haven't seen that. I
Very
look
proud of
forward
it.
to it. Yeah.
What?
I haven't seen that. I'd like to see
Oh,
it.
it's a very good movie. Very tense, and a lot of unexpected things happen in it. Don't stop eating.
Okay. Go ahead.
But anyway, so what happened was, I said Eddie and I don't know if you know much about Eddie Olmos. Do you know who he is?
Yeah,
the actor?
I do.
He's a really powerful actor, and he's a very close friend. I've made a bunch. I've directed him in about 6 movies, feature movies, and he came to light really in a play called Zoot Suit. And he was tremendous in it. He created the character of El Pachuco. So he's been in a number of my movies, and we're very close friends. So, and I'm a half-assed writer, but I write, and not just direct. So Eddie said, Bob, we're going to do this. And I thought, it's like you trying to do the Beast, and I forget the name of it. We're not, it's hard to raise the money and say you're going to make something. But Eddie is a remarkable kind of guy, actually. He somehow gets access and does things that I never could possibly do. He has some kind of nerve that I don't have. So here's where we're at, just so you know what's happening. So we go to Europe, and we come back and we make a budget. I could show it to you at some point. see behind my chair, that big white, you don't have to get it, but if you want to, you can.
Oh, that thing's your
That
budget?
big thing, that's the budget. You know, I mean, it's done very professionally by a guy who's done lots of big features and stuff like that. It's, you know, it started out being almost 50 million. Now it's like 35. It could be done for much less. If I were running it, the production of it, it would be. I'm more guerrilla warfare kind of guy, you know. Some new things have happened. And some of it I'm not at liberty to mention the names. But Eddie is at a place. It's a kind of a meeting between Latinos, Hispanics, and Jews, you know, and there are other people there, some priests and you know, people who are interested in, you know, dialogue. And there are 5 people who speak. Eddie's the last one to speak, and he reads something I had written, just a 1-page synopsis of the story. I hate those kind of things, but anyway, Eddie read it very passionately. And people were crying. I don't understand it. He gets a phone call from the Israeli consul in LA. Pretty powerful guy, because LA is one of the important cities in the United States, certainly to the Israelis. And he reads the first 5 minutes of the story, and the guy is hooked. And comes to our house, Eddie's house, where we meet. Eddie lives in the, you know, in Encino. And we read the whole script to him. He wants to hear the whole script. And he's very moved. And says, I want to help you. I have to help you on this. I want this film made. And introduce us to some people who could make it happen. That's where it's at right now.
How recently was that?
That was just before Christmas. So he thinks that money is no object. We should, you know, have the top of everything. Bob, I've been around long enough. I'm not trying to put myself down. And my wife can't stand me talking about myself, downgrading myself, but I've been clueless. I just never understood how things worked. And in a way, I never was interested. How things work, I thought it was immoral to have an agent when I started out in this business.
Immoral?
I thought it was immoral.
Really?
Yeah. So when Mike Romer and I made Nothing But a Man,
I was just gonna
everybody got interested in us. Every agency got in touch with us. And
Well,
we were
that was the
offered
first-
Goodbye Columbus
Yeah, right.
and big films. And we turned them down. And we thought we did prove that we could make an independent film that was good. So why can't we make another one? And it didn't work out that way. So for 13 years, I went back to doing documentaries after Nothing But a Man. And then I did Alambrista.
Yeah.
And I did in short order that and Short Eyes and a film called Rich Kids, and Sam Cohn, well, it was the one who got me rich, called and said, I want to be your agent. And he was the #1 agent in the country, in the world. So here he wants to be my agent, and so so by now I'm realized I can't do anything without an agent, really.
What is your agent doing for you on this project?
I don't have one.
I am
No, I
DB.
still don't. I don't have one. I've been very clueless in that area, but Eddie has been handling all those things, and he has CAA. So then I started making feature films, and then I got brought here by Verna Fields. Do you know who she was?
Yeah, sure.
She brought me here.
Oh.
I had made this film, Rich Kids, and she thought it was a great movie, and she took me into Spielberg's office, and she said, you could have all this. I was just, but I couldn't. I have problems dealing with things like that. then I made some other films. Then I was brought here by Norman Lear.
Really? Wow.
And Norman Lear took me in his office. He had the top floor in Century City. He said I could have this as my office for the summer. He was going east to live on his farm. He has a place in Vermont. I turned it down. I said I couldn't work for anybody. You know, I've never worked for anybody. And but anyway, I took an office which had no windows, a little office. You know, I'm an idiot. No, I'm
Not
really
really.
an idiot.
I wouldn't have any regrets if I were you. You've
No,
done
I'm not
some-
having regrets. But in the sense, yes, I do. In the sense that I could have, if I understood more, and was not so afraid of power and money and figuring out how I could be more. I've had a thing about not being operational. I don't want to be. I want everything to come from a different place. So anyway, here I am, and but I'm doing things. I'm writing. Like I've written a couple of things that Dino De Laurentiis tried to buy one of my scripts. I wouldn't even discuss price. I was afraid I didn't want to. I have a really great script called Bird of Paradise. It's a story about cargo cults, and it's about coming to New Guinea, where I've spent a lot of time, and it's about. It's the same storyline about taking their territory and everything, their gold and everything, but it's about a people who've been given Christianity, but they think some of the pages are missing out of the book because what the white man does doesn't seem to work out for them. So they destroy, these are true things, they destroy their pigs and their gardens to show God that they really believe that He will provide for them. But then I have another story that I've been working on for a long time, and my kids want to ultimately do it. It's that I've been very fascinated by, well, I've always been interested in tribal people and the other, you know, as long as they're not Jews, that was really interesting. So blacks, Latinos like Alambrista, but not. So anyway, so I've been writing a story called Don Quixote and the Conquest of Mexico.
Really?
Yeah. In a way, it's a conventional kind of story because it has, you know, there's drugs and there's some killings and it's. I never did anything like this in my life. Wife, you know. I don't know how it's a strange story how I got involved in this story, and that's why I'm doing it. And then I got caught up in it. And
Which one do you want to do? What's your
right now,
passion right now?
Well, we got to do The Accomplices, and that's number one. And there's things happening, and maybe it'll happen, and maybe it won't. So if it won't, or if it gets delayed, then I have this, it's called In a Little Spanish Town, because that's one of the songs. In a little Spanish town was on a night like this. And that's how my film starts. And then it's a fable in a sense, and then it goes into the story of what's happening. The thing that most interested me was that I had not seen a story that really brings together one of the watershed moments in history, where the old world comes to the new world, and where the different values and assumptions about the world come in conflict. I don't want to change history, so I want to find a historical situation within which I could tell my story. I'm on the cusp of either nothing, and I'm nervous about it, because I don't have anything coming in. They drink your blood, they eat your flesh, and they cut off your balls.